It's an adventure time. What is going on, everybody? Shout out to the full house in the vehicle.
What's up?
Cody's repping.
Peace.
Rabbit's repping. And Dave.
What up?
And I. Looking like a freaking piece of now and later candy right here with this flexible flexing Fila jacket on. A lot of people made some crazy comments about this. Joe, give your wife her clothes back. Joe.
I like that one. I wasn't even gonna, I wasn't trying to cut you off, but I like that one.
Hey, get out the truck right now.
That shit was so funny.
Okay, so I just got off the phone with a guy by the name of Jellico, who I want to introduce you guys to. This is a new guy. This is somebody that you guys have probably never heard me speak about before, but I have. I know I have. I had to have. Folks, I want to tell you guys a little story real quick, so bear with me. We're getting ready to have us a little prison story time. You guys know one of my biggest hustles while locked up was selling the prison porn pictures, the little 4x6 photographs. Dave, do you at all remember when I was doing that?
You started doing that right around the time I went to 6 building, so yeah.
Okay.
I was leaving. Remember, you were there.
I was there for like another 2 years after.
Almost like a year and a half by the time when I left.
And it was definitely in that time frame when I first got involved in that business, which ended up being a very lucrative business.
Yeah, because I remember buying a couple pictures from somebody on my side, and then I was like, dude, where are you getting these pictures from? And it was someone I rock with, so he was like, man, Guerrero.
What the man just put me out there like that?
But it was my dude though.
Oh man.
He was like, Guerrero, you know. I was like, yeah, I know who it is, and I just started laughing.
That's crazy, man. Even in prison, dudes are still snitching.
It's not considered snitching.
How it ain't?
Because
you ain't supposed to know my face, man. I was the plug. I was El Chapo of the pictures.
He wasn't telling on you to get out of anything. It was two friends having a conversation about somebody that we both knew mutually.
Anyways, I still don't know how I feel about that, but the point of the story
I'm still mad I was paying full price. That's what I'm mad about. You want to be mad about something, I'm mad you was charging me full price. We was at a different, we came there together.
When I got involved in this illicit operation, this opened new doors to me. See, before I was a rando, which meant that, you know, just because I did tattoos, I wasn't even tattooing at the last prison because I was on my way out the door. I didn't want to get in no more trouble. But even if I was tattooing at that particular prison, oh, that's a good place to stand. Even if I was tattooing at that particular prison, it still wouldn't have opened the doors that this picture operation opened for me. Because once you've got what I considered an American Express black card with a $1 million credit limit on it, that's what getting involved in this operation was like having. This opened major doors to me. See, porn in prison is something I like to refer to as like Tyrannosaurus Rexes, T-Rexes. You know that they exist, or existed at one time, but you've never seen them. And a Tyrannosaurus Rex in prison is a Buttman magazine. My 4x6 photographs, oh, they were primo. They were top of the line. Quality content for sure. But you knew that there also were T-Rexes in this prison. Buttman magazines, you heard about them, but you never saw them. You might see photocopied scans of pages from that magazine, but you never saw the exclusive full magazine. These things were kept so under wraps. That was until I personally became involved in this prison hustle. And when I did, people started coming out of the woodwork. People that I never even imagined would have. You got one of them magazines? That magazine is worth so much money. So I started getting in with a different crowd, a seedier crowd, a very weird and twisted and disturbed crowd. People who would come up to me making special requests. Hey, can you get me an Indian girl who ain't shaved since she was born and probably ain't clipped her toenails in her entire lifetime? What, you got a foot fetish? Doors started opening. I ended up having people who became my runners. These guys I would give the pictures at a wholesale price. They would sell the pictures to guys like Dave, randos, for full price.
You think that's funny?
No, it was a business, Dave. It's only business, Georgie. It's only business. Long story short, I went from being a rando, a guy that didn't even really get hardly any mail, to all of a sudden I was getting 5 to 10 envelopes almost every mail call. And people really didn't know. They assumed that those were letters from girls. They thought that I was like Don Juan all of a sudden, but what they didn't know was those envelopes were filled with 5 photos apiece. So 5 to 10 envelopes a mail time. We're talking anywhere between 25 to 50 pictures, sometimes 3, 4, maybe even every single day of the week. And I was making a lot of money doing this. Well, this guy that we're getting ready to go meet is a guy by the name of Jellico. Jellico was a guy that I knew, but I began to know him in a completely different way once this operation began, because he was heavily involved in not only this operation, but this guy was a hustle man on the yard. This guy sold anything. He was a salesman. He could sell water to a well. He could sell salt to a slug. Boy, I was lisping and slurring all over them S's. And Jellico was a hell of a salesman. Well, Jellico, sort of like Dave, got released before I did. And when Jellico got released, I don't know how long he would end up staying out, but he would end up getting locked up again. And he wouldn't get locked up for anything minor. He would get locked up for something pretty major, where he would end up serving another 4 years. Yeah. 4 years. And this man has only just now been home for 6 weeks, and he's living in a halfway house. That's where, what y'all laughing about? Y'all
The Liberty dude was doing the
he was doing the Humpty Hump.
Nah, he was doing the what's that dude's name? The Asian dude who got
side?
Yeah, he was doing the side dance on the side of the road.
What is the side dance?
Whatever he was doing, it was hilarious.
It was like
wow.
It was,
thanks for interrupting me.
Sorry.
So we're getting ready to go meet Hustle Man. I'm getting ready to introduce you guys to this guy. I haven't seen this guy since prison. It's been 4 years. He's only been home for 6 weeks. One thing really interesting about this guy is a stand-up dude. And I will always say that about this guy. When he got released, he owed me money. So on his release day, he owed me money. This guy didn't have to pay me, but he would end up paying that debt. And that's one thing that I will always remember about that guy is the guy's word was good. He kept his word. But an interesting thing that he told me was, he said, Joe, in prison, I'm a super stand-up dude. But out here in the free world, I can't get it right at all. I want to go see this guy. I want to get a chance to introduce you to this guy. And I want to see, after having a long conversation with this guy yesterday, you know, if After Prison Show in any way can help this dude stand a better chance out here in the free world than he stands right now. All right, so we're getting ready to be at this halfway house where Jellico is staying at. Never been here before. He says he lives here with 6 other people, or 6 people total live in this house, but it's in a nice neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
You know, you think about this, man, we could rent a house out here and do the same damn thing.
There he is.
Hey, there he is right there. He looks the same. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, dog?
God damn, I ain't seen you in a long time, man.
What's up, buddy? You doing all right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, slide on over, Dave, and let the man in the truck. This is the contractor whip right here, man. This is the After Prison Show construction truck. Jellico, say hello to the world.
Hello, world. How we doing?
Man, this is, look, I gotta say something about this guy right here. You want to talk about one of the sharpest looking guys, even in prison. Jellico was always a sharp fly guy, man.
You gotta stay fly, man. You never know what you're gonna come across. You know what I'm saying? You might come across work or somebody who needs something, you know?
Damn right, man. Look, I was just talking about you before we picked you up, Jellico, and I was telling the story about the prison porn operation. And I wanna get a little take from you on that, because you were involved in this as well. You were involved in this as well as many other things in terms of, you know, being the hustle man in a prison.
Absolutely, man. You gotta do that in order to survive one way or another. You gotta find a way. Some people don't get money sit in like myself. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make ends meet.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
State checks don't do it. State checks ain't gonna get you anywhere.
You know, and it
might get you the hygiene you
And
need.
the hygiene, you can get some soap or something.
So look, it was interesting because when I got involved in the operation, when I started getting the pictures sent in, and then you found out that I was getting those pictures.
Oh, I was on it, brother. I was on it, bro. I was on it. You found me, I found you, man. Those were the best pics. I still think about that one girl, man. There was one girl.
It wasn't.
Everybody's got that one girl, you know what I'm saying? I forgot. Wow.
I hope it wasn't the Indian girl with the toenails.
No.
All right, look. So we just got Jellico. We're gonna go take Jellico around. This is our first time seeing him, and we're gonna be talking more with him in just a moment. All right, Dave. Grab all sorts of stuff, man, because what I want is anything. And Rabbit, you as well. You're looking for your cooking stuff. So you guys don't know what you're cooking yet. I'm gonna be grabbing some exotic items to throw into this to really, you know, twist it up a little bit.
doing sweets? Are you doing cakes?
I mean,
We've done it.
What is the general idea of the cook? What is the general idea?
To make the best meal. To make the best meal.
They have this tuna on the holiday pack in prison.
That ain't good for nothing.
The pink chicken of the sea, $4 on your holiday pack. So if you're ever ordering anything for anybody who's locked up, it's $4.
Truck it back
It's not worth it, but hey,
It's a good gambling item.
damn right. Damn right. If you're playing the parlay ticket, that is definitely something you want to play.
Don't nobody use those things, man. That is a straight pay a guy.
Yeah, to pay a guy on the yard. See, Dave had someone sending him money. He's working with the church. It's Deacon Dave. You don't know him as Dave. I know him as Deacon.
Oh, Jellico, you remember that?
Deacon Dave. Dave was in the church singing.
I said that about Dave. People didn't want to
He was
believe
running
me.
Celebrate Recovery. He was running everything.
I tried to get into that when I came home.
You should have heard the conversation that I had with Dave when he came home, and I said, Dave, what happened with the church? Oh man, you know.
That's a $250 bag right there. Easy. In prison, that's a $250 bag.
We need to add it up. We need to take the time to add that up. A bag of cheese curls, that's $1.99 a pop. The sodas are 52 cents a pop. The bag of chili would be $1.60. It was $1.50 back in the day. The $1.60. The crackers are $1.99. Soup's 32 cents a piece. The pepper, if you get it on the yard, all depending on how big it is, can be $2 or $1. So you got the wraps. The wraps itself are, you get 6 of them for close to $2. So you got 10 of them. So that's like. That's a lot of money, bro. That's a holiday jack. That's a Super Bowl party right there. You got a Super Bowl party, bro. Somebody's birthday. That's what you got.
So Jellico, it's good to see you, man. Thank you for being over here, coming over here and spending some time with us. You're just coming home after serving another 4-year sentence.
Yes, just another 4 years after doing 3. I wasn't home maybe 6 months.
So when I met you, you were doing a 3-year sentence.
Yes, I was sentenced to the program that we were in.
Oh, that was an awesome program, though.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Indian Creek, the therapeutic community.
Yes.
But that would be where me and you would first meet each other.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about how our relationship kind of blossomed in regards to the prison hustles.
Yes, prison hustles. It's how you stay alive. You gotta stay alive. You gotta keep the money flowing.
Damn right. And one thing that I said about you before we even picked you up today was, you know, one of the last memories that I have of you was how when you were getting released, because you got released well before I went home.
Yes, over a year.
You owed me money.
Yes,
because of the pictures that I was selling, and you know you had your hands.
You were a little uneasy too, which what I didn't understand. I said I had you, and you were a little. Owing money, man. When someone goes home, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, but at the same time, Jellico, you were a man of your word. You paid me, and I can't never take that for granted. I can't never look lightly upon that. And a person who keeps their word in prison it's a big deal.
Yeah, because I was home. I sent the money. I had to give my sister the money from my account. And it just right then and there, it was the very first thing I did. As soon as we sat down and got in front of a computer, that was the very first thing I did.
And see, I misremembered it. The way that I remembered it was that you came over to the building, and maybe the reason that I'm thinking that is maybe you came over to building 3 because you were in building 6 just to tell me, hey, look, I am going to get you the money. But I remember that I got that money. So whether it was that you sent me that money in a money order, I just can't never forget the fact that you were a man of your word. And that really speaks volumes, especially for somebody that you meet in prison, because you're going to meet people who are full of nothing but but larceny.
And empty promises.
Right.
I'll write you, buddy. I'll come visit you. I'll send you some money.
You never did write me a letter.
I kept in touch with your blog. I did look at your blog, but yeah.
And
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No letters to anybody. Those were empty promises.
But one thing about it, you brought up, I was doing the blogging. Joe Writes His Wrongs was this thing where I was just chronicling what it was like being locked up and crazy stories and things like that. And it's really awesome that you were checking that out even when you got released. So that's a really cool thing. I want to introduce you to After Prison Show. And the way that I want to do that is first starting with a little bit of your backstory. You ended up doing 3 years, which would be how me and you would meet each other. But then you said you got released, and within 6 months you ended up getting locked up again.
Yes, absolutely. Things were going good, working. Everything went together. Paid every court fine I had, was paying rent. Everything was good, man. Everything was good. Bought a vehicle, had steady work. I've never had a problem with work, and I decided to use drugs. I decided to get high.
Do you feel like drugs have been your ultimate downfall in life?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. That's the only mitigating factor of all my trouble. All of it.
You know, you brought up a good point when me and you were having a phone conversation yesterday. You said, it's crazy because I can do really good in prison.
That's right, yeah.
But it's different out here.
Yeah, it's a structured lifestyle, I guess. I don't know what it is. Like, my word's good. I gave Century money, you know what I'm saying? Just little things. That my word's good. Owing people money or just doing whatever, but for some reason when I get out I use and I never come back. It's a one-day decision. It's a one-time decision to where it's life-changing, and there's no stop except for prison or jail
or death.
Yes, jails, institutions, and death. Absolutely.
You know, you've been released this time after serving 4 years for only 6 weeks now.
Yes, 6 weeks.
And what has it been like for you to try to remain sober out here in the free world? How has that struggle been?
It's real, to be honest with you. You know, using drugs is, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to see their friends or people that they were locked up with. And it's a real fine line. Either people are doing really well and they don't have nothing to worry about, and sometimes they can party on the side or just not party at all, or they're getting high and they're stealing and they're on their way back. Some people I know have... Since I've been locked up for 4 years, they were in there, they got home, got locked up again, did a year, went home, and now they're on their way back again. They're out on bond. Or going to some programs that hopefully when they go back to see the judge, that, you know, they'll get, you know, there's
some kind of a lesser sentence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously it's a revolving door.
Yeah, drug use that's it. Once people use a certain narcotic, especially narcotics in particular, meth, cocaine, heroin, that's it. That's it.
I want to talk a little bit about the 4 years that you served and what would lead up to you doing that, because you said it was only 6 months until you would end up locked up again. And it's a pretty crazy story that you shared with me about what would lead to you serving those 4 years.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got all my stuff together. I was trying to get custody of my son, and because I had felons and had a charge, I just came home from prison. The judge didn't see it my way, and not only helped me get more rights, she took some that I had because of the fact would only let me see my son once every other week for an hour, and my child's mother had to drop her off, and you'd have to pick her up, and I couldn't take my son anywhere. And I thought I was owed more because of what I was doing right. And it didn't. That night, in particular, I got high, and I never came back. I never came back. And that's the thing with people or addicts or people in general coming home. They think because they're doing right, certain things that you know, the world's just going to lay down for them. You know what I'm saying? Things are just going to be easy. I'm doing right. I'm staying clean. I'm paying my bills. Life is going to be great. It's not always that way.
And when you went to this court hearing for this custody hearing, and things didn't go your way, obviously this affected you in such a way that, you know, you did decide to go use. You know what? Screw it. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Why can't this go right? You used that as a reason to get high.
Yeah.
But this would only snowball into so much
Yes.
extra stuff that would come along with it.
Yeah, drinking. I started with drinking. Started getting high on cocaine, weed. It ended up with crack. I ended up meeting girls on Facebook, and not Facebook, but Tinder and Plenty of Fish and stuff like that. And I was hanging out with these random chicks, hanging out in Portsmouth of all places. I met, random chicks going wild, and I ended up, what I actually did is met a nice girl on Tinder, and she let me house sit. You know what I'm saying? We had a good relationship. She met me when I was sober. You know what I'm saying? And when I started using, she asked me to house sit, and I looted her. I took everything she had, basically.
What does it feel like to think back to that situation now? Like, I can imagine you're ashamed about that. You're probably disgusted with yourself about that. I mean, what is it, thinking back to that moment right there, what is that like for you?
It's almost embarrassing because that person, I seem to generally hurt people who care about me. You know what I'm saying? People who do the most for me. I was having problems with housing. She let me stay at her own house, man. You know what I'm saying? I took a total advantage of that situation and destroyed an awesome friendship, and just, I would like to say, hey man, I blame it on drugs, but I am the human being who did that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can inevitably blame it on drugs, but the reality is when the smoke all clears and you're sober and you're looking yourself in the face, I did it.
Jellico, I mean, these are very personal, intimate details about your life that you're sharing with us, and I want to thank you for doing this. I know people may hear this and may judge you for this, but to be able to face this sober now and to look back and reflect on, like one thing that you mentioned that I'm really struck by is you said that, you could blame it on drugs, but ultimately it was you who did that. Absolutely. No matter what the situation is.
Yeah. And that's the reality is when the smoke clears and you're sober and you're sitting in the jail cell and you're hoping to get bond. That's when the reality hits you. Oh my gosh, I just got out of prison, man. I made all these promises. I'm not going to see my son. I'm not going to see this. All these promises, all these things that you were hoping to do with your life have now, you head-on collision with life and reality. The reality, when the fog clears and your mind's not distorted, you become back to reality, and you have that sense of being a human being and a normal person and what reality is like. And when you all write it down on a piece of paper, like your pre-sentence report and your sentence report, when it's all written on paper, you look like a pretty bad fucking dude. You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about the night in particular that you got arrested, because this is a really crazy story, and I hope you'll be willing to share this with us. But you told me this story about you being out in Ocean View, out in Norfolk.
Yes, I made bond on that charge. A friend actually bonded me out, who I was in prison with. We were in prison together.
I remember this guy.
My family wouldn't bond me out. The bond was $400. All you needed to do was put $200 down. Any friend and family that I could get a hold of wouldn't come and get me. It was 3 months before I could get bond. A fellow inmate saw that I did work. I posted my work on Facebook and stuff. My work ethic's always good. My word's good. You know what I'm saying? Like we discussed. And he actually bonded me out because he needed help with his business. He actually helped me out with his business. And what had happened was, I've been out for a while, and I started using again heavily, and I was hanging out with people in Portsmouth, and just random stuff was going on, and then I ended up in a high-speed chase. I lost the police twice, and on the third time, they put spikes down. And I was riding on rims, and I got away and I hit a pole. I got a skull fracture from here to here.
I can see the scar. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I got a skull fracture, orbital fracture, neck fracture, and a cerebral hematoma. I woke up in a hospital with dog bites. The dogs bit me. When I crashed a car, what was told to me was I wouldn't move, I wouldn't get out of the car. So they smashed the window, opened the door, and had a dog pull me out. And I have stitches, I had dog bite marks all over me. So I had my head shaved from here to here. My mugshot is hellacious, epic, but that was the reality of it all. And here I was again with fresh larceny charges from that girl that I stole from, and fresh eluding charges. So I thought I was going away for a long time, a very, very, very long time.
So they can't press charges.
They said they felt threatened by me.
Probably because your wife called you, said something was happening. That's all you can say. I mean,
yeah, and you didn't say nothing to them.
So, anyways, it ain't no big deal. You said that, oh yeah, you already clapped. So you said that you felt like you were facing a lot of time because you had some really bad charges and all. Hold on. You said that you.
Need a second?
No, I'm all right. So you said that you were facing a lot of time, or at least you felt like you were facing a lot of time. And, Jellico, you've got a pretty extensive criminal record from what you've shared with me,
yes,
which would ultimately make anybody feel like that they were facing a lot of time, because these were not little charges that you were bringing back. This was some pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, they really were. On paper, I've been arrested 28 times. I counted yesterday after I talked to you. I've been arrested 28 different times in the city of Virginia Beach, and only the city of Virginia Beach.
So nowhere else?
Nowhere else. That's the thing. And the only reason why I got 4 years is because guidelines are stated. I had larceny one time, I had credit card fraud, and I had forgery and uttering, and now I have eluding. And each guideline has their own set of guidelines. And what the Commonwealth Attorney does, he gives you something where he thinks he's going to give you the most time. He wasn't smart enough to put those larcenies together and compound them. I got a lot of larcenies. Any kind, yeah. But because I come back with so many charges or a probation violation, the way they combined it, they combined it all under the credit card. So it became compounded. The only agreement that I was to have when I got there was that they run all the charges together. That was the only the pre-agreement was, instead of having different cases for probation violation, the larceny,
all the charges individually,
we do it all in one day. So I could just go to court one day and just, bam, this is what you got.
So you essentially lucked up.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I clapped. My family looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I already done a year. You know what I'm saying? I was on my way to workforce and stuff like that. But I got kicked out of workforce, and they sent me up the road to St. Bride's Correctional.
I want to ask you this: when you received this time, or at any point during the time that you were locked up, did it ever cross your mind, or I'm sure it did, that you have to make some changes? You can't keep living like this.
Absolutely, and I think mostly it comes with age, because you see your body can't do what it used to. I used to work out when I was with you. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever. This time on the bid, man, I'm getting older. I'm 40 years old. And
you're only 40?
Yeah, I'm 40 years old.
Good Lord, Jellico, you don't got any gray hair at all.
I gotta keep it nice. Gotta keep it sharp, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually a little intimidated by your hair, Jellico.
Yeah, that's like me, man. It's a job, working for jobs. Everything's hustling one way or another, man. You gotta keep sharp. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the record and stuff you got. You gotta be able to sell people the idea of, I'm doing right. I need help. Even if I want to do wrong in one way or another, you got to be able to hustle. You know what I'm saying? It's all see. Hustling isn't always illegal. The definition of hustling is one who moves fast and one who makes money by any means.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you're selling drugs. It just means you're moving fast and making money by any means. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a hustler. But that's the way. That's the way.
Jellico, you shared with me some things that I found really interesting that I want to talk about right now, and that is, throughout the course of these 4 years that you just served, things are a lot different now.
Yes.
On the inside.
Everything's different now. Everything's based on re-entry. Not only that, but even in the system, things are different. Everybody's snitching. Everybody's telling on each other. The porn business is not like it used to be. There's different things. Everything's centered around drugs. The world is revolving around drugs.
Even on the inside.
Even on the inside, it's a big deal.
You mentioned to me one thing that was really crazy, and it's the dress code. We used to be able to wear the nice button-up blue shirt.
Yeah, everybody jokes me because I always wear blue, but yeah.
It looks like an old prison shirt. Sort of, not really, but you don't wear that anymore.
No, you wear that there, but in Visit, you used to be able to wear your blues, your Timberlands and stuff like that. They give you Jackie Chan's and a brown jumpsuit that they zip up backwards so you can't take or put anything anywhere.
So it's almost like they degrade you going into the visitation room.
Oh yes, man, this is humiliating. The family picture you used to take with everybody like this? Man, you're in a big brown jumpsuit, it's baggy, it's backwards, and you got orange Jackie Chan's on, bro.
And obviously, what's the reasoning behind this? So you can't smuggle things?
Drugs, yes. They don't think you can get drugs in that way. They're just dumbfounded with the theory that the COs might bring drugs in. They don't think it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And where I was, it was pretty tight. But the thing is, man, where there's a will, there's a way. When it comes to drugs and money, bro.
Absolutely, and that's a crazy thought to just think about right there. No matter how many changes they implement,
that's it.
They're going to find a way to still do.
They were even talking about women not being able to wear tampons at one point.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned was the porn industry.
Yes.
It's been all but shut down. Now talk about the changes that they've made.
The porn industry. Back in the day, you'd be having pictures mailed in. You can't do that anymore. Prison is you get 3 pieces of paper mailed in and your pictures are photocopied. Before, you could send normal 5x7s and they could be nudes, they could be semi-nude, they could just be poses. Any kind of shot, man, to make money. Same thing with certain magazines. Even years ago in prison, you used to be able to have porno magazines. You can't have any of that now. The closest thing you can get, maybe in certain institutions, you get Curves, you can get the XXL, And there was another one, I can't remember the name of it, that everybody used to have, all the brothers used to have.
That's crazy. So obviously prison is just getting nothing but worse.
It works. It really is. And the lockdowns and everything like that, there's no staff. There's no staff to do anything. These counselors, they don't show up. The COs don't show up. So you're locked down. You can't, it's hard to even get on the yard nowadays.
That's crazy. With the fact that you've been home for 6 weeks now, let's talk about what you getting back out into the free world has been like, and let's talk about where you're living at as well.
I'm living at right now is a halfway house. I can't really discuss the name, but it's a halfway house. It's not like any other in the area. A lot of halfway houses have a lot of using and stuff like that. I found a place, I cherry picked a place that I knew would work. That had some strict guidelines and just some recovery. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to meetings. No one wants to go to meetings. No one wants to do anything. But I had to do something different. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing you got to change, and that's everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go back anymore, man. And people are like, well, why do you want to stay sober? And I'm like, because I don't want to go to prison. They're like, well, you don't want to do it for you? I'm like, well, my addict mentality, of course, I kind of want to catch a buzz now. I'm like, hey, man, let's go catch a buzz, grab a beer, let's do whatever. But the reality of the fact is it's not in the cards because at the end of the story, I ended back in prison. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of the story. This is the starter story, and the inner story is prison every time. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do something different, you know. That was my theory. So I tried to do the 90 and 90 meetings. I tried to do everything different, you know what I'm saying? And the resources, re-entry. Everything is re-entry now. Everybody has to realize this, that though they say it's re-entry and they say everything's bullshit, if you get the pamphlet and it's got a website, you got to look up the website. You got to do the work. You got to do the passcodes. You got to do this. You got to make the phone calls. You got to be there between 5 and 8. You got to do everything it takes to make it because you have to ask for help. And that's really humiliating sometimes. Like, I needed a ride to work today. I started at 6 o'clock in the morning. I called 5 people. Like, yo, I need a ride to work. It's raining. Blah, 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 blah. That's the thing. Networking. If you're not networking, you're not working. And that's the thing. You got to think like a hustler. You got to think like a hustler.
This guy, Jellico.
You got to think like a hustler.
This guy, Jellico, right here, he is a absolute salesman. Even in prison, having that hustle man mentality and now having that same mentality out here in the free world.
You got to do it.
And using it for a positive good. Because
you have to do it.
In certain regards.
You have to do it.
In certain regards, it could be viewed as a negative thing. Oh, this guy's a con artist or a manipulator.
Call it what you want. Call it what you want, man. I'm not going back.
And I don't want to see you go back, Jellico.
That's the thing. And if I want to get high, you can't stop me from getting high. But the thing is, if I want my life straight, ain't nobody can stop me from that either, brother.
And let's talk about that. You know, what do you view your chances out here this time? Because this has got to be the umpteenth time, not only for you, it's been that way for me, it's been that way for Dave, it's been that way for Rabbit, it's been that way for so many other people who we featured. So you're no different in the regard that this is the umpteenth opportunity.
And I get that. I get family. My family's nervous. I got everything. Everybody, what are you doing? I get 4 phone calls a day from family members just making sure I'm on the straight and narrow. But the thing is, man, there's resources and ways available. You just have to ask for help, man. Believe it or not, the PO ain't out there to hurt you anymore. Before you talk shit or do whatever, or you piss dirty one time and they send you wherever. It's in writing now, man. If you ever dirty urine, you gotta go to a program. Unless the judge says you will not use drugs again. And that's a special condition. But there's ways around it. I got Medicaid. I got food stamps. I'm going to school. I mean, dude, it's impossible, man. I posted something on Facebook the day I got out. I said, I just got out. Y'all know where I've been. I need work. If you need a reference, go to my old Facebook pages and then look up my pictures and see the work that I've done. My work ethic and my word when it comes to certain things, man. Work in particular, you know, can't be denied.
So again, I ask you, what do you view your chances for succeeding and not going back this time are?
See, that's the thing, man. My chances are better than they were, but the reality is, man, I got to take one day at a time, man. Anything's possible, man. Somebody could call me, my child's mother could call me and say, I got a boyfriend who just beat me up. Anything is possible. But the thing is, the mentality, just like I was with my child's mother and somebody said something, hey girl, you look good. You know what I'm saying? First thing I want to do is do something, but in reality, man, it's just words, man. I got to blow certain things off. I got to let certain things go. You know what I'm saying? There's certain places, my halfway house has got rules. But you know, you got to do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. I don't want to be at this halfway house, but this is a stepping stone. I don't have shit right now, but this is a stepping stone. Little steps out of a time. 6 weeks, I'm going to school. I got 2 jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? We're looking fly, you know what I'm saying?
So
you know,
what are you doing for work?
What I'm doing, I'm a cook. I was a cook. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. When you're in an institution, they offer these things called ServSafe. Believe it or not, and that ServSafe can get you in many, many places. They're opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They have Opportunity Inc. They have all these places, federally funded places where you can go and ask for jobs and they'll get you jobs. You just got to use what you know or what you have. Suppose you worked in the kitchen and the spread. Right on. You think someone's not going to hire you for a dishwasher? Bust your ass like you did in that dishwasher in the yard. You know what I'm saying? When you were in the spread.
Yeah.
Do that there. You work your way up in no time. You know what I'm saying? Thing is, I have a small resume from, I worked in the kitchen when we were in Indian Creek. I went to a little class, and from there, I kept going.
That was the worst thing they could have done was put you in the kitchen at Indian Creek. This man was coming. This man came back with everything.
$2. $2 sandwiches. $2 sandwiches.
This man came back with everything minus the kitchen sink. If it wasn't bolted down, it was coming out.
It's a hustle. One way or another, it's a hustle. Just like where I work at now, I eat. One less meal I gotta eat. One less food stamps I gotta swipe. You know what I'm saying? Everything's whatever. People call me for dinner. You know how your family, you can just blow it off? Nah, bro, I gotta eat. You can invite me to dinner. You can guarantee me. You give me the day, I'm gonna knock on your door and we're gonna eat some food, bro.
Look, Jellico, it's a lot that you're dealing with right now, being so fresh home. I know it's got to be a stressful time as well.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what the stress level is for you. You don't have transportation right this second. You know, how have you been getting back and forth to work?
A bike and a bus. A bike and a bus. That's the thing. I went to a foreclosed house and I was taking all the stuff out. I lost everything when I got home. And I was doing foreclosed properties for this guy. And there was what they were calling trash. I'll put them in the bag and put them in the back of the truck, buddy. There was an old basket for a bicycle. I got it on my bicycle. I'm riding a bicycle to the bus, taking the bus to work, and then I'm riding a bike to work, man. You just got to know the schedule. You got a phone. You know when the bus is going to run. People say, oh, I can't do that or I can't do this. Man, you can do that. And when it's raining, you just call somebody, yo, man, you know I'm trying to do right. I'm just trying to get to work. I started early this morning. 6:30, it was raining. I saw the news. It's raining, man. Hey, I started, you just networking.
And look at what it's led to now. Not only are you doing the video with us, but you're getting ready to go to work.
Yes.
We're going to Uber you to work to make sure that you get there. And Jellico, I want to throw this out there as well. If there is ever a situation where you need a ride to get to work or to get home from work, you can hit me up and I'll get you a ride.
I appreciate it.
I'll help you in that regard for sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's one of those things, man. If I wanted to get high, I'd get there. I'll find a way to work. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It's just you gotta train your mind. You don't absolutely have to change your mind and thinking. You just have to refocus it and make your energy the same energy it once was when you were doing hustling.
With this, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an introduction to this guy. This guy's got the gift of gab. You need to be working at the Mercedes dealership. I don't know why
I've been told that for a long time, buddy.
I don't know why you're not selling cars right now, but you were an awesome dude that I met while locked up, and now we're getting the chance to see each other for the first time out here in the free world.
Yeah, today was the first day. Right on, brother.
It's been a little bit of a hectic day, and I do apologize for that.
Man, that's the life of somebody trying to get stuff right. It's just everything. Everybody thinks because your life has changed that you're not gonna have problems, bro. You're still gonna have problems, bro. It's part of life. You gotta deal with them, but you gotta deal with them the right way. You know what I'm saying? You can't think like you used to think. Somebody wants to go, somebody wants to start something. You can't just go swinging. You just got to go over there with the right mindset and your same mentality and do whatever. You got to use this, man. It's a different mind of thinking. It's all in the hustle.
Well, the good news is this is another opportunity and another chance for you.
Absolutely.
You're so fresh out. You are so newly released, and you've got this new lease on life. Within 6 weeks of you being released, you've got a stable place to stay at. Absolutely. You're working 2 jobs, doing whatever it takes in an effort to get to work.
Yeah.
And like I asked you, which you can't give me a definitive answer, and I respect that, like how you view your chances out here, you're taking it one day at a time.
You have to. I can't. I wanted to promise my kid. I won't promise my kid I won't ever get locked up because I don't know. I promise you today, I'm going to be fine.
Well, one thing that I want to do is I want to remain in contact with you, Jellico, help you in any way that I can.
Absolutely.
Through After Prison Show.
Absolutely.
Possibly chronicle more of your journey and your transition out here in the free world.
Absolutely.
You're a cook. We're getting ready to do some cooking. I wish we could have you be a part of that.
Right on.
We could do some stuff with you in the future for sure. But I want to wrap this up by letting you know that you have some positive resources, not only right here with me, but also with Dave and Cody and After Prison Show as an entirety. And if there's ever anything that I can personally do to help you, if you ever find yourself in a situation where, you know, you need somebody to talk to, I hope that you know you can call me, you can call Dave, you can call any of us, and we'll be there to try to help you in any way that we can.
Right on, brother. Staying out of trouble is the way to be, man. It's the After Prison Show.
Let's not make it the before prison
Yeah,
show.
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Or the On the Way to Prison Show.
On the Way to Prison Show.
Jellico, look, man, it's good to catch up with you, brother.
You're the man.
And I look forward to being able to continue this with you and seeing where you go from here.
Absolutely.